And we are live. Welcome to another Super Galactic Saturday. I'm Jerry Sr. with Jerry Jr.
Good morning.
And we're here on another lovely Saturday morning in sunny California. The weather is actually quite nice. It was a little chilly earlier, but now it's far more moderate. The sun is out, and yeah, it's a beautiful day. And any day above ground is a good day. So today is definitely a good day. We are here, we are alive, and generally speaking, we have our health, right? So thank God for that. So thanks for joining us. Thanks for checking us out today. We appreciate it. And we got a few things we're going to talk about, but I know you wanted to talk about something very special um, and unfortunate that occurred recently.
Yeah, so obviously a lot of gamers are aware of the death of a man named Tomonobu Itagaki. So if you don't know who Itagaki is, he was the game developer behind the Dead or Alive series, which is sort of it was a 3D fighting game series. It's Tekken with hot chicks. That's
Yeah,
kind of what it's
I
called it.
remember it. Yeah, it was great.
And he's also responsible for reviving the Ninja Gaiden series because Ninja Gaiden started as a NES franchise. There's three games.
Yeah,
Itagaki transformed it into a 3D action game uh, in a similar vein of like Devil May Cry, but for the Xbox. And he was a pretty revolutionary game designer. Like I said, he pioneered 3D action games. Um, I didn't have an Xbox growing up, but I know that Ninja Gaiden, the original 3D one, came out around the same time as stuff like, I want to say, like Devil May Cry.
yeah,
And so they were kind of the first uh, 3D action games of their kind. And it was kind of, Ninja Gaiden specifically was kind of the Dark Souls before Dark Souls. Because the Ninja Gaiden games were hard. I mean, they were always hard. The NES games were hard, and the 3D games were just as hard. They were so hard that you had to unlock easy mode, allegedly, which is a crazy thing to think about. One of I actually remember uh, reading interviews about with Itagaki and Game Informer, and he talked about stuff like his rivalry with uh, the guy responsible for Tekken and things like that. And one of my favorite quotes was about the testing of the game. He said the level of difficulty was done intentionally. Of course, the testers who tested this game went nuts. At first, it was easier, but when the testers said it was too difficult, I made it more difficult. He tried to make it easy, but then he's like, "Oh, this game's too hard." So he's like, "You know what? Just for that, I'm gonna make it harder."
that's hilarious.
Because he's an insane person. But you know what though? I think it's a respectable thing because a lot of games nowadays tend to sort of, I don't like using this phrase, but a lot of games nowadays tend to hold your hand. And it's not like easy
Yeah,
games are
that's what I was going
bad.
to say. Isn't that the point, right? To
What do you
make it
mean?
challenging and
Well, yeah, and
but it,
it's not that easy games are bad. Like I like Kirby games and stuff like that, but a lot of
yeah,
even like the early Kirby games, they didn't really hold your hand. They just
yeah,
gave you a lot of options, and I think that's you know that was the appeal of them, was that you could get any power you want if you just ate the background, right? Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. Yellow paint, stuff like that. I'm talking about stuff like yellow paint. I'm talking about stuff like, I remember reading, or somebody, I was listening to I was eavesdropping on somebody talking about uh, that Cajun game. I can't believe I'm calling it the Cajun game, but the one that takes place. The action game that came out that takes place in the South. That came out, I think, last year.
Oh yeah, yeah. We actually talked about that.
Yeah.
It was kind of woke looking.
It's
I don't know,
kind of the one looking.
it was yeah. It was just
Oh,
something about
South
it.
of Midnight. South of
Yeah,
Midnight.
South of Midnight. Yeah,
I mean, I thought it looked interesting because I like the mythology of like the Deep South and stuff like that. I'm a big fan of Tall Tales, so I figured I was going to incorporate a lot of that. But I was listening to someone who played the game, and they were like, "Yeah, there's a mode that like turns off the combat, so you just like I guess walk through the game or whatever." And I'm like, "What?" But like this person's trying to sell me on the game, and it's like, "Yeah, I couldn't. The combat was too hard for me, so I turned it off." The game's great though. You should buy it. And I was like, well, if you had, and it's not like, oh, the game was easier or oh, you know, you have to turn on like auto aim or something or
right.
like some assist thing. I was like, that's all right, whatever. But like, you had to turn off. That's like if oh, this Mario game's too hard, so the game jumps for me. It was like, well, then you're not playing a Mario game.
Yeah, I think I
No,
remember that being a huge criticism of a lot of these video game journalists who would play these games on easy mode, then critique the game, like,
yeah.
and say it's hard.
Well, I don't.
It's
Yeah.
like, wait a minute,
Well,
like,
it reminds me of there's the whole Cuphead incident where I can't believe I'm calling it the Cuphead incident, but
is that like
well, somebody have you seen
Watergate?
Cuphead? I mean,
Yeah,
you've
of
seen
course,
Cuphead,
yeah.
right? So there was this whole thing where uh, a game reviewer got stuck on the tutorial, and the tutorial is
Oh
literally
yeah, I
jump
do
and
remember that.
dash. That was
Yeah, I
literally
do
it.
remember that. Yeah, yeah. It's like what?
Yeah,
But they're reviewing the game. Like you can't review. It's like trying to give a review of a car and you can't drive, right? Like you
yeah,
don't you
exactly.
don't know how to reverse. Like you
Yeah,
shouldn't be giving a review, man.
it's like why? It's like why would you? Yeah, it's like a food critic who doesn't know anything about cooking, right?
Yeah. Well, not just cooking. It's a food critic that doesn't taste the food, right? He just smells
Yeah,
it. He goes, "Oh, that smells good. Oh, that doesn't smell right." It's like that's not how you review. It's like you have to fully participate, right?
right.
So you're gonna eat, taste, chew, right? It's the same with the game. You gotta play it on hard mode, play it on easy mode. That's fine too, but you can't just play it on easy mode and then give a review like, "Oh, this game is awesome." It's like, well, wait a minute. Like
Well,
we
I
don't want
don't.
to
I
hear
mean, I
is
don't.
it's awesome.
It's
We want to hear how's the game mechanics, how's the play, how's the
yeah,
experience, and like you can't give a true truthful review. It's like giving a review of a car and you don't drive it. Right? Like what?
yeah,
You just
exactly.
take it and do a parallel park and that's it. Like,
Yeah,
that's not gonna
yeah.
help anybody,
You
right?
drive in a straight line.
Yeah, exactly. You never make any turns. You just drive straight. It's like that's kind of silly, right? So, but I remember that happening a lot over the last
Yeah, even Kirby
probably
games had
decade.
hard modes.
Yeah, so yeah, but it kind of goes into kind of what's been going on. Not just in gaming. I think gaming is feeling it far more recently, I guess. But overall entertainment. And I wanted to play this clip because I thought, man, it's so relevant what he's pointing out here. And I know he was known as a very abrasive kind of person, and very direct, but I think he's right on point. So I just wanted to play it and kind of talk about it.
I'm creating entertainment rather than just a video game. So in terms of entertainment, it's quite natural for me to create beautiful women. It makes sense rather than bringing ugly women into the game. It's very simple. Naturally.
No violence.
Violence. Entertainment. Beauty. Sex. Gambling. Gambling means that if people really like playing a game, then they'll pay whatever it costs. And that's all.
It's very
I
simple,
mean,
he says.
it's very concise. And when you agree, there's levels to this, right? Like, some would say, I don't want jiggle physics, or that's fine. Like, it's not about like 100%. Like, it has to be all those things. But what he's saying is, at the core of it, like what I'm hearing, is fundamentally it's about entertaining your audience, right? It's
Right.
like, look, I'm gonna throw in explosions. I'm gonna give you pretty girls. Like, who wants to see ugly girls? Nobody. But yet, you see that with some of these other game companies in more recent years. And what are they giving you, right? They're giving you very plain Jane, sometimes very butch looking women. They're giving you trans, whatever, and it's like,
Yeah.
who's asking for this? No one, literally, no one is asking for this, but they're giving it to you because they're not focused on entertaining you. They're focused on virtue signaling, right? And pushing forward a message or whatever that is. And it's like, and that's kind of, him saying this, and I appreciate finding it because it's like, yeah, this is so relevant, right? I'm sure this was said many years ago, but it's relevant even today, right? It's like a lot of game makers, and not just game makers, but movie makers, television, TV streaming. It's like their focus has been so diverted from entertaining us, and it's like, what are they doing? I don't know. They're propagandizing us, I suppose. They're pushing a message. They're virtue signaling. Like recently, Rebecca Sugar, the showrunner, writer for
Oh, Steven
uh,
Universe.
yeah, Steven Universe.
Oh yeah, but I mean,
She, she, she,
I think that interview is. I don't know how old that interview is, but
I know that, but
that wasn't never really a secret.
no, it wasn't. But the whole point of what she's saying is, what I'm saying is that that's indicative of a lot of writers and creators over the
Sure.
last
Yeah.
couple of decades is that they are purposely injecting themselves, right? They're putting themselves into the IP, into the stories. Now, granted, look, it's her original story. She can do whatever she wants, right? And she's just talking about how the network pushed back, when they try to go full blown obvious lesbian affair. Like it's like, okay, yeah, they're gonna push back because it's blatantly obvious. Like everyone knew that the signals were there, right? The character designs, the dialogue, pretty much the whole design of the show. You kind of understood, yeah, this is gay, right? But that's fine. It was subtle, and so people were like, whatever. And I'll be honest, I didn't have a problem with seeing it. I thought, okay, it seems kind of cool. It's interesting. It's definitely different from what I've seen before. Unique concept, right? And it's like, but I knew immediately, yeah, this is like a feminist, what dream type stuff, right? And it's like, but it's an original IP. It's not her taking Star Wars, right? You
Yeah.
understand? Or Avatar, or Rugrats. You understand? And say, let's put this in there, right? It's her saying, I'm gonna come up with a whole world story universe, right? Literally, right? And write that and build this into a show. And that's what she did, and so she can kind of get a pass because it's like, yeah, well, that's her show. Now she had to do her battle. That's what she was talking about in the clip. She had to do her battles with the network and all that to get it, but I'm like, the problem is when that type of mentality is applied to, an IP that isn't yours, that isn't original, right?
Right.
Like you're taking these games or these movies and TV shows, you're saying we're gonna gender swap, we're gonna race swap, we're gonna right. It's like, and you're injecting yourself, you know. It's like, no, bro, like that's not how it works, right? If you want to see, what you claim your representation, right? Your see yourself, make something, right? That's what Rebecca Sugar did. Like, she made something, right? And she pitched it, and she went through the process, and she got a show made, right? And I believe she worked on Adventure Time too, right?
Yeah. She worked on Adventure Time before Steven
Yeah,
Universe.
yeah. So, but you
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying? It's like it's like I'll rather see that because it's like, well, this is her original concept, right? I don't think anybody has an issue with any of those things when it's original, right? When it's like this is her being authentic. She's like, look, I have a gay lover, and I want to put our relationship in the show. Right? I wanted the characters are a reflection of us, so I want to reflect that. That's your business. That's your prerogative, right? And it'll rise and fall based on how the audience receives it, right? That's fine. That's fair game. That's how market dynamics work. But if you're taking, Batman, like they did with the what was it? I think
Are
it's
you
a
talking about the
Batwoman.
Penguin?
No, the Batwoman show or whatever.
The
It was
Batman.
years ago.
Oh, are you talking about the live action one where
Yeah, it's like you're like being
where they
so
had a black woman
yeah,
steal the bat suit and then she just
right,
became.
exactly. It's like first they did
Oh
the thing
man.
is though the character is a lesbian in the comics, I believe. Right? So it's like then they introduced her in the animated film, I think it was the Bat
Yeah.
Family or something like that. And it was like, oh, I was like, okay, this is interesting, right? It's a new character, new dynamic. You
Yeah.
know, they showed her backstory and like relationship with her dad and her sister and all this. I was like, that's she was kind of a cool character in the animated version. That's how I was introduced. So when the show was announced, it's like, oh, okay, that's interesting. And but then it's like it went off the rails because they started just hammering it in versus being more so like in the animated version it was way more subtle and nuanced and it was like okay right it focused on story and character development but in the show it's just deviated so much far from like it was like what are they doing like they actually had a legit character that's not necessarily original because you already had a background but it's like at least it's like she had her own story and
Right.
then they just completely destroyed it. And then by the second season, it just went off. Because all they focused on was virtue signal, virtue signal, virtue signal, virtue signal. And it's like, bro, nobody wants that. You want a story.
Yeah. I mean,
And
so I,
that's what
I
I'm
mean,
saying with
yeah,
all this stuff is, man. So that's why I love like what he said here. It's like it's not
yeah,
about
absolutely.
focus on what he specifically said about sex or It's like no, but what he's saying is I'm going to give people what they respond to.
Well, I
What
mean,
they
to be fair, it's the same mentality you see in the Yakuza games, right? Like, I'm a big Yakuza fan. I like Yakuza
Yeah,
Zero.
yeah,
I don't have to buy another video game again. Like, if you have one Yakuza game, you've got like 50 games, right? Because you've got the action RPG, there's gambling in the game.
right, yeah,
There are trading cards with like, and I'm not joking. It's and to be fair, in fairness to Yakuza, this game takes place in the 80s. So I don't know
yeah,
how prevalent this was, but there are literally trading cards with adult movie stars on them, and they're just liner. And it's like what? It's just a lot of crazy stuff. Now you don't have to
yeah,
do everything in the game, but
right,
there's literally something in the game for everybody. There's the
right.
karaoke thing. The most popular part of the
I was
Yakuza
gonna say
franchise
that. You
isn't
were
even
funny
the
about
violence; it's the karaoke. Yeah,
that.
you
That's
know,
hilarious.
there's something in the game for everybody.
Right, but
And
and that's the whole point. It's audience forward. It's audience first. It's saying like, hey, what do I like as a creator? But also, what would the audience like? What would they want to see? And are my tastes and sensibilities a reflection of a general audience? And those questions aren't being asked anymore, right? Just like
yeah,
everything he said in this clip are things that he wants to see himself, that he wants to experience himself as a gamer. You understand? So he's is his audience. And he understood that, which is why he was able to create things that resonated with the general gaming audience.
yeah. And
You
to be
understand?
fair, as someone, because I had played um as a kid, I had only played Dead or Alive 4 because my uncle had the game for Xbox, whatever, and it was, and it was pretty. Like, I wasn't kidding when I say it was ahead of its time. It has nothing to do with like the character designs. It had more to do with like gameplay wise. It was as simple as say Virtual Fighter, but there was also a lot of it expanded on like the stages and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Like now you see in like Tekken, I don't know if it was 7 or 8 where they introduced it, where it's like multi-layered stages and stuff like that. You can knock people to the bottom of the stage or whatever. Like all that was in Dead or Alive before it was in Tekken, And but unfortunately, I'm not unfortunately, but Tekken ended up becoming the more popular series. Tekken's fine, but I'm just saying a lot of those things were in Dead or Alive, years before. So gameplay wise, it was also really ahead of its time as well.
yeah, yeah. He was pretty innovative, man. He was only 58, which is pretty young. Unfortunate. Yeah, it's sad to see. I don't know what he died from, so I don't know if he was sick or if it was just sudden. Um, I haven't seen any information regarding that. Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't think it was said. So yeah, yeah, it's unfortunate. Lost a great one. So um, yeah, rest in peace. And, you know, he was behind quite a robust. I didn't know he worked a Super Techno Bowl back in the day.
Yeah,
That's pretty awesome because it's no.
yeah. Oh yeah, Tecmo. They worked on Dead or Alive, Ninja Gaiden, but also Tecmo Bowl
Yeah,
stuff like that. Yeah.
yeah, I remember Dead or Alive, Dead or Alive.
They should have put Bo Jackson in Dead or Alive.
But yeah,
They could have did it. It ain't Techno Bowl.
that's true. You're right. You're right.
They should have been,
Did they do a version with Bo Jackson? No, I don't think.
Yeah, Bo Jackson was in. That was what made the game.
Techno
He was the
Bowl,
most broken character in the game.
Okay,
Yeah, pretty sure. Yeah, it was
Bo
Bo
Jackson.
Jackson.
I don't remember.
Yeah, Bo Jackson was the most broken character in the game.
Yeah,
They should have made him a boss in Ninja Gaiden.
Now that would be. I can totally see it.
But yeah.
Yeah, man. A lot of people
Go play Dead or Alive. Go play the new Ninja Gaiden games. Or not Ninja Gaiden. Go play the new Ninja Gaiden games.
Yeah.
We're getting a bunch of Ninja Gaiden fans are no longer famous, I gotta say. We've got like pretty sure like 3 or 4 Ninja Gaiden things coming out. We've got the Ninja Gaiden 4. We've got a remake of Ninja Gaiden Black. We've got Ninja Gaiden Ragebound. This is so much Ninja Gaiden right now. Go play Ninja Gaiden. Ninja Gaiden's awesome.
Sweet. So yeah, so we wanted to pay our respects. Awesome. And moving on though to some surprising news. Saw this week. Apparently, they're in talks to do a Jetsons remake, and this is the first thing that came to my mind.
So much for retiring.
Well, he already did the Sonic movie, so he's clearly not retired.
Well, I know, but he kept talking about retiring every time someone brought it up.
I know, yeah, but I think this is what I think. I think he's retired until there's something that piques his interest, and I think somehow, for some reason, Sonic. Maybe he's a fan. I don't know if he's a gamer or not, but maybe that was something he was like, you know what, I'm going to do it. So, and I appreciate it because his performance is great. The movies are great because he's in it. So I'm not.
Well, it kind of makes me. It kind of makes me upset because Robin Williams passed away, and he was a big Zelda fan. I mean, he named his daughter Zelda.
Oh yeah, I think
and I would have loved to see him in the upcoming because they're working on a Zelda movie.
Yeah, that would have been, man. Listen, I would.
Yeah, because he's a huge Zelda fan. I mean, like I said, he named his daughter after.
Yeah, he probably would have done it. Like, you know what I mean? Like he was hesitant with the genie, right? But he probably would have done Zelda, especially though he was a fan.
He was in the Ocarina of Time commercial for the 3DS.
Wow.
Yeah, he was cool.
But yeah, apparently they're talking about it. Him playing George Jetson, and but the first thing that came to mind was, do people even remember this show? Like, especially younger generation. Like, is it in syndication anywhere? Like,
no, I don't.
And let us know in the comments. Like, are you guys old enough to remember the Jetsons? Did you watch it as a kid, or is this something where you're like, what the heck is the Jetsons? Like I'm old enough to remember. I watched it when I was a kid. I watched the Jetsons and I watched the Flintstones, and both of them were before my time. Like, they came out in the early '60s.
They used to be black and white. Yeah,
they were old. And so when I watched,
I don't know about the Jetsons, but Flintstones for sure.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. I think the Jetsons might have been the '70s. But
Yeah, I think so. From
um,
the 70s.
but by the time I came along, they were in syndication, right? So a lot of this stuff was in syndication, being played over and over again on different markets. And of course, in LA, they were playing it on various channels.
So here's my thing. I don't. On one hand, you know, they people might younger people might know who the Jetsons are because recently, well, as recent as 2016. But yeah, 2016 there was like a series of Flintstone comic books where they sort
That's
of
right. Yeah.
rebooted
And then they do some
the.
crossovers with that, with the Flintstones.
I mean,
Um,
I don't know what you're referring to. They did a
I thought they did
crossover with
some
what?
type of crossover with the Flintstones and man, I'm trying to remember.
I mean, they did a lot of crossover. They did a crossover with Billy and Mandy, um,
No,
and
it
that's all I
wasn't
can really think of.
him.
But
I keep wanting to say He-Man, but I don't think it was He-Man.
oh, I don't know. But I guess what I'm getting at is that people are aware of Hanna Barbera. I don't think
Right,
enough
of
people
course.
care.
It's the Cartoon Network, yeah. And that's but yet even and then there was this Cartoon Network and they had Cartoon and they had
Yeah,
and then and that played a lot of oldies, right? Huckleberry Hound, all that kind of stuff. A lot of Hanna Barbera classics, which includes Flintstones and Jetsons, right?
yeah,
But then that went away years ago. And then I know they spun off another network for classic cartoons. So, but I don't know. I think that one, I'm not sure if that even is around anymore. Like, you understand? Like, did that even last? Is that a thing still? Or that's something to look into? But it's kind of like, yeah, like people even, what I mean? Like, aware of who this person is, who these characters are, the show. I don't know. It's kind of interesting. But yeah, apparently they're at least talking about it. They did the Flintstones movies. That was what, 90s? I think that was the 90s.
that was in the '90s. Yeah.
And they were okay. They were pretty good. John Goodman and the guy from Honey I Shrunk the Kids.
Oh,
Rick
you
Moranis.
mean the dad?
Yeah, Barney and Fred was John Goodman and Rick.
Oh, yeah.
And I think they had Tom Arnold in there as well.
Maybe it's
And
funny you
oh,
say
a lot of
Honey I
celebrities. Oh, good.
who?
I'm sorry. I said there's a
Oh
lot of
no.
celebrities like Halle
Oh
Berry was
well, yeah,
like the
that's
second
true.
one. Yeah.
No, I was just gonna say when you say Rick Moranis, I don't think Honey I Shrunk the Kids. I think of the Ghostbusters or
Oh yeah, that's right.
or
Right. Yeah.
Little Shop of Horrors.
Yeah. Yeah. Those are classics. Right. Yeah. I know. I
Yeah.
always think of him with Honey I Shrunk. I don't know why, because it's just sticks with him for some reason. But yeah,
Notice
it's
how we're not talking about the Jetsons, but we now started talking about everything else.
Flintstones. Yeah,
That's
that's what
how.
I'm
That's
saying. Like,
how. That's.
and listen, the show is great. I used to love watching the show. It's a great show.
I
They're
mean,
in
yeah, the
the
Jetsons was
far
fine.
future, flying cars and elevated homes and
Well, funny
laser
enough,
beams.
the Jetsons. When I think the Jetsons, I only really deeply remember the movie more than the actual show because there was a Jetsons movie. Took
Oh
place in
yeah,
a
that's right. There
factory. Yeah,
was. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
that's right. Yeah,
It
and
was an
that's what I'm
animated
saying.
movie.
Even that was like mid to
So
late '80s.
here's another problem I have with the Jetsons is it's kind of the same issue with Tomorrowland at Disney World is that tomorrow always comes. So my thing is that a lot of the stuff that we saw in the Jetsons is became reality, right?
Yeah, I mean, even
So
the
it's
year
like,
that was supposed to be, wasn't it? Did we already pass that year? It was supposed to be 2000 something, right?
yeah,
So,
yeah, exactly.
so it's like, yeah. I mean, it's. I mean, look, I'm for it. I like Jim Carrey,
I'm not
and
saying I'm not against
I
like
think
retro
yeah.
futuristic
It's just
stuff,
funny
but
that it's coming up now versus 20, 30 years ago when we had the Flintstones being made in the movies, and they did pretty well. Why wasn't it followed up with the Jetsons? You know what I mean? Especially with a young Jim Carrey, it'd be interesting. But yeah, it's it's like okay, um, but like you said, it's in talks. So is it gonna happen? Maybe not. I mean, like this is like AI, so it's like yeah. I mean, it'd be nice. I would watch it because I like the show when I was a kid. So, but it's like who's that's why I'm curious. Like, did any of you guys out there watch the show as kids? Like, because I figure many of you are probably younger than I am. Like, you're probably in your 30s, right? Maybe 40s.
I mean,
Like, do
I grew
you,
up on Hanna-Barbera because of Boomerang, and Boomerang
right? But
featured
do
a
you
lot of.
remember the Jetsons? Did you watch the Jetsons? Was it
Well, that's what I was
even
gonna say. I mean,
out?
there was a lot of shows. So I mean, if you
That's what I
guys,
mean. Like at that point, it was probably like just sort of this blur of shows.
yeah,
Like for me, it wasn't like that, right? I didn't have cable like you guys had, right? So it was on this channel, and there was a cartoon hour. You know what I mean? And it was like, here's the Flintstones, and then next is the Jetsons, and that's it. And that was like
right.
every week. So it was like a regular TV schedule. So they stood out more, right? It was less. It was a less crowded field. So they captured your attention because of that. Where versus like you say with Cartoon Network and um, what was it? I can't think. You just said it. Was it Toon Boom or I forget. But you know, you have this huge saturation of cartoon shows. Like literally hundreds of shows. And how can you like really retain and be a fan of anything? Unless it just really stands out to you, right? But if it doesn't stand out in a collective sense, right, then it kind of just becomes a sort of niche. Oh, I just like this, right? I don't know. You know what I mean? Like it's like that's what I'm curious about. Like, do adults now, especially adults who have kids, do they? Is this something even where they're like, oh, that was a thing? Like, do you even remember this? Because there's so much to that you had. You know what I'm saying? Like you
Yeah,
guys, on top of that, you had video games. Like when I was a kid, I didn't really have video games, right? I mean, I had we had Atari, and you know,
yeah, but
you know what I mean. Like it wasn't
that's
like
not
it is
better
now.
than TV.
It wasn't saturated,
Yeah,
and like yeah, Nintendo. But that was the time I hit like junior high, high school. So it just wasn't that big of a distraction from television.
yeah.
Now there's so many games and they're so robust and visually compelling and striking, engaging. Right? It's not just a competitive aspect of television and movies, but it's for many people there is nothing else but games. Right? It's like why am I wasting my time watching a show? I'll just play my game. You know what I
I just
mean?
want to point out that the last Jetsons anything to come out within the last century was the Jetsons and WWE Robo WrestleMania.
Wow. It's kind of wild. So
So yeah, they had a
wow.
crossover with WWE at
What
some
year was
point.
that?
2017.
Wow. Okay, so that's not too long ago.
I mean, it was also direct to video animated film. So
Yeah. I
again,
know. So it
nobody
probably
probably cared
yeah.
about this.
I was gonna say it probably was a blip on the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like
I mean,
didn't
I
even
mean, to be fair, the Jetsons just weren't as popular as the Flintstones. I mean, when it first came out,
yeah, that's true.
back
The
in the
Flintstones were
'60s,
always
yeah,
wildly more, and I think what drove that was the fact that they were first, but also they were a direct sort of parody of the Honeymooners, which was a
that's
wildly
true.
popular television show,
Well,
like
also, I
huge.
mean, dinosaurs.
And right, and you have dinosaurs, right? You have prehistoric. The gags were kind of wrote themselves, I would imagine, right?
Yeah,
Like
exactly. And they got
woodpecker
pretty creative with it.
cars and yeah. Versus Jetson, just like everything's kind of just there. It's the future. And it can be fun for a while, right? But after a while, I don't know. I think ironically, the future gets old.
I mean,
you know,
that was kind of my point when I brought up Tomorrowland, right? Is that
yeah,
Tomorrow
yeah,
was so it's like It's not special anymore. And to be fair, even when the Jetsons first came out, because it originally aired, apparently it was scheduled opposite of Walt Disney's Wonderful World of Color and Dennis the Menace. So I could see someone. I don't think at that time I don't see anybody tuning out Walt Disney to watch George Jetson. I think they're gonna watch Walt Disney or Dennis the Menace. I like Dennis the Menace. I'm a little biased, but so it didn't. It got poor ratings when it first came out in the first season. It wasn't until it was moved to Saturday mornings that it became more successful.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then
And not to
even after,
mention, the Flintstones were technically not made for kids. It was a
I
show.
mean, yeah,
Before there was Simpsons and all that, there was the Flintstones, and they were made for prime time for adults.
I mean
You know?
they sold Winston cigarettes.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, so and that's a big part of it too. Is the drive wasn't just, although obviously it became appealing to kids, right? Like, especially in syndication. So they edit out all the adult stuff, but
Yeah,
it's like that's a big part of its mainstay. It's lasting, you know, as compared to the Jetsons. The Jetsons, you kind of forget about it. Even though it's a solid show, it's a fun show. It's a show that reflects family and family dynamics. I mean, both shows did, but I don't know, there's something about it where it's like it just didn't have that like punch that makes you go, yeah, Jetsons, right? It was kind of like filler for most of the time. Like it was like, oh, I watch it because there's
what?
nothing else to watch. You know,
Wait a minute. When it is? Are you asking us Mecha Missionary, or is this a real thing? Jetsons. Where's Jetsons meet Kanika Man? Is that a real
oh,
thing, or did you
did
make
that
that up?
happen? Yeah, was that
If it did happen,
yeah,
that's the
that was
craziest thing I've ever heard.
yeah, that's kind of wild.
That wouldn't surprise me because, as uh, I mean, Mecha Mary mentioned it, but Japan was a big fan of wacky
Like
races,
races,
so that wouldn't surprise me. I'm serious.
yeah.
Wacky races in Japan is super
It kind of
popular.
makes sense. I mean, they kind of have a game show that kind of reflects that.
I mean,
With,
yeah. I mean, just look at Mario Kart.
right,
You know,
yeah. I mean,
it's
that's
essentially those
definitely
wacky races with
inspired.
Nintendo
Yeah, definitely
characters. Yeah,
inspired by that. Yeah, and I
yeah.
love Wacky Races too. That was a great show.
I mean, look at Speed Racer.
So yeah, it's like but it's that's kind of funny. That'd be interesting.
Oh, you made it up. You
Oh,
disappointed
okay.
me.
Good,
Listen,
good
it
luck
wouldn't
with the book
surprise me
there.
because there were weirder. Listen, there were weirder things that happened in Kaneko, man. I'm just gonna leave it at
But
that.
listen, I'm telling you, that there was a crossover with the Flintstones and like another IP, and I can't.
I mean, the Flintstones probably crossed over with everybody at some point. That doesn't really
But
surprise
it's
me.
in the
Like I said,
comic.
it was in a comic.
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, there was
Oh,
Flintstones meets the Jetsons crossover, but that was on
I know that.
TV.
That was on the TV. Yeah. Man, I don't know. I know I saw it. It was years ago. I'll figure it out. But I know it
It's
was
gonna
done.
come to you when you. I mean, there was
I
a
know. Yeah, when you sign
Flintstones.
off.
There was another WD. There was another wrestling crossover with the Flintstones. It was the Flintstones cross WWE Stone Age SmackDown. What is
Oh,
with
maybe.
the
I
wrestling?
know wrestling. Yeah.
Does it make
Maybe
any
that was
sense?
it. I don't know. Yeah.
There was a
That
Scooby
could be.
Doo Flintstones crossover.
No, what's Scooby Doo?
Um, there was a
There
Bewitched
was a Booster
Flintstones.
Gold and Flintstones. Apparently,
What?
multi comics. Yeah,
Now that's
that's
random.
well. He is a time traveler, so I can see how that can happen. But yeah, I don't know. I'll figure it out. But I know it happened with like something that was it caught me off guard. Like, oh, that's interesting. That's why I wanted to say He-Man, but I don't think it was He-Man. I'm not sure. You never know. It could have been He-Man.
Maybe. I mean, that would make a little more sense.
Oh man, but yeah,
Just
that's
because He Man is pretty much a caveman, but
yeah, it's kind of a
there
cave.
was there was a Bewitched crossover with Flintstones.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm naming stuff that I know because I don't know what you're talking
I
about.
know. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to,
I don't know.
you're
I don't
right.
know.
I don't think it's gonna.
To be fair, I don't read the Flintstones comics, so I mean, the only thing I think of is, yeah, the Booster Gold. There was a Booster Gold crossover.
Yeah, that's. But
It's weird. I don't know how to
yeah,
feel about that.
but there was something. Well, whatever. I'll figure it out. Sorry, guys. But moving on. I wanted to look at some trailers here, and this one dropped this week, I believe, from the Riververse, and we had
Oh my
a
god!
like a long conversation about this.
All right, we're doing this. Huh? All right,
Yeah, we should talk.
that's fine. That's fine.
The J.
Wait,
Sully
but I
Borg.
just want to say, are we gonna watch the whole trailer?
Oh yeah, why not?
Okay.
You don't want to watch the whole thing?
I mean, we can. I had a hard time getting through the trailer after I saw it. I'm going to be completely honest with you,
we owe it to our
go ahead, go ahead.
studio audience.
Let me stop.
My home for the last decade. They thought they could rehabilitate the Death Defier. And perhaps they were right. Prison gives you time to think, to reflect. Who am I? What brought me here? I was one of the most feared villains this world has ever known. But who am I now, upon my release back into the world? I never thought that God had a plan for me. But He is guiding my hand. He is speaking directly to me. I have been chosen by Him to use these gifts for a greater purpose. I am called home to old Chicago. Not that I can legally stay in Texas. Part of the terms of my sentence. I caused enough trouble here. He wants me to find these exceptional young people and train them to use their abilities to fight. Fight what? I don't know. But they will be ready when the time comes. God help me. This isn't gonna be easy.
Thoughts?
I am Shadow the Hedgehog. I am in charge of recreating the Breakfast Club. This is
I
who
mean,
I am.
really
That's what
gonna
that
do
reminds me of.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
what that
yeah.
reminds me of.
Trying to get this edginess. I guess.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. It just doesn't
Um,
make sense. Here's my thing. All right, so I don't think I think the pitch of a supervillain running the Breakfast Club is not a bad idea. I think it'd be
yeah,
fun, and I think it'd be funny. I think it'd be a good story. It's just the way they're selling it. This is why trailers are so important. Like, oh, don't judge a book by its cover. It was like, well, first off, that's what the cover is made for. All right, so I'm gonna judge a book by its cover. You better make a damn good cover, you know. But
no, I agree, especially in the medium like comics. Yeah.
yeah, it's like it's
You,
yeah,
you,
you
li-
have to
you literally do judge a book by its cover.
yeah. So it's like the way they're selling the story, it just seems overly serious for no good reason. Especially when you look at the art style. Like go to the beginning of the trailer, right? Are you Dad? Are you able to rewind?
That's what I'm doing.
Oh, okay. It was buffering. I go to the
Oh,
yeah. This is the first thing I see,
yeah.
right? Before I see anything else, right? Because I saw this on Twitter or whatever. Yeah, exactly. It looks like a Cartoon Network show. It looks like Fairly Odd Parents. It looks
No,
like
it doesn't look like.
No, but it
But
looks
I know
like
what you're saying. I'm just saying, like for me, Fairly Odd Parents looks better.
I mean, sure. I'm just saying it
It's hard
looks goofy.
to-
That's what I'm saying.
yeah, right. You expect it to be silly,
So
whimsical,
like when
fun. Right. And I don't have a problem with the art itself, the style, but you're right. There's a contrast between the what we're looking at and the tone that's being set through the narration.
yeah,
Like it's giving us this sense of seriousness, um, redemption and God, it's like straight up God. It's like, okay.
it's like
Like,
it's like
but then they show
they're
the
getting pretty
there's
heavy,
this
guy.
angel.
What's your problem?
She's like kind of winking at him, and it's like,
Yeah,
okay,
it's just a
yeah, and
lot of mood whiplash.
that's kind of what we were talking about. Like, there's this contradiction, I guess, and maybe that's intentional, I suppose. But I kind of feel like, yeah, this could have been like the idea of just like starting with him in prison. I'm like, instead of that, why not start here with the kids? And
Yeah,
they're doing things like they're training and they're you know wielding their powers, and maybe they're struggling a little bit, and he's there giving them guidance. And then as he's doing this, right, like right here, you can start reminiscing and thinking, yeah, I started off, I can't believe I'm here now, but I've been called for a greater purpose, and my track record isn't great, and I've made some mistakes, but I've paid the price for those mistakes, and I'm hoping to keep these kids from making the same mistakes, something like that, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's almost like you're just giving us the entire premise, right?
yeah. That's another thing. It's like
Yeah,
they spoiling half the story in the trailer.
yeah, it's a bit heavy-handed, in my
Yeah,
opinion. Like, because of it, like, I'm just like, you're literally showing this dude in prison, and he's talking about, I can't go back to Texas.
I know it's so
What?
random. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, like, I don't know. I'm like, what is the age bracket? Is it like teens, preteens?
What is it? Here's the
That's
thing. I
all
don't
I'm
think
thinking. Like,
that's a, I
who's
don't
gonna
I don't
be
think that's not
understanding
a
that?
bad plot point to have in a story for
No,
kids.
but
It's
I don't
just
know. I kind of feel like
make
it's
it
kind of
make it
thrown in there.
makes. I mean, they didn't have to show it in the trailer.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, it just seems like, okay, that's a bit of
Like
information.
literally,
Like, don't
it just
necessarily.
feels like I
He's
remember when
before this review board. It's like, well, does a kid look at this and go, "Oh yeah, he's trying to get parole"?
yeah, it's
No,
like
no,
this is
I
for
don't know that.
kids.
Do they? Do they know that?
Yeah.
I don't think they would know that.
Oh, they
So
don't.
why is it here? They're like, who's these guys in their suits? Are they businessmen? Like, that's all I'm saying. Like, it just kind of feels like versus, like I said, especially if it's supposed to be for kids. And my impression with the art is that it's supposed to be whimsical and fun, right? With a message, right? With a definitely a heavy message. But I'm like, you should start it here, you know. And he's talking about redemption and his calling. So that was kind of that
Yeah,
was
and then
kind of
you got
it.
this, and then you get this Dennis the
The
Menace looking
detention thing.
logo.
Yeah, exactly. But it's called the detention. So it's like, oh, so are they
That's why I said it's the
kids
Breakfast
in
Club,
detention? Ooh,
but with
okay, but
superpowers.
it's not. I know there's a prison involved. You understand? He's an ex-con. He's a villain, former villain.
Yeah, they
And
don't
then
really
all of a
focus
sudden,
on the detention part.
detention. So is he at a school? Is a teacher? Like, so he can leave prison to become a teacher? That's all. It's like there's a kind of a lot of leaps and logic here. But
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
versus if they started with him in school,
You know what? You know what this reminds me of?
yeah, what?
There's this. This is. Hold on a second. This is especially with the what's it called? The voice acting. It's, it's just it's just Shadow, just the image of Shadow with a gun. That's what I think of when I see this. Like imagine being 10 years, imagine being like 12, 13 years old, and the last game you played was Sonic 2 on the Sega Genesis, right? You're rolling through Green Hill Zone or Emerald Hill Zone or whatever. And then all of a sudden you get Shadow Edge on the game. Yeah, I mean that's what it feels like. It's like
Yeah.
It's just,
out of nowhere. Yeah.
it's just Sonic. You gotta calm down. Like to be fair, 13-year-old me thought this was cool. I don't know if 13-year-old like it feels. I don't know. It feels like a 13-year-old ideas. This character feels like a 13-year-old idea of cool, which can work if
I
the
guess. I
writing
don't.
is good. But it's
Yeah, it's
just
written by the Saska sisters.
you said what?
The Saska sisters. I believe they're the ones who wrote this,
Oh,
and
okay. I mean, I don't know who they are, so
they wrote Yaira also for the Ripperverse.
oh, that's
They work
right.
with more like the lore master. So
Oh,
they have
okay.
a decent track record already. Because I believe Yaira did pretty good in sales. So
Did you read it?
no, I said I heard it did pretty good in sales.
Oh, okay.
But I'm just saying, like, yeah, this is, I like the idea of them doing something for all ages, right? Younger crowd. So I hope it's good. I like the premise. Like the premise is kind of cool. Like former villain becomes trainer to young heroes, right? It's like, oh, that's interesting, right? That's a nice twist, because there's going to be trust issues and everything.
Yeah.
I kind of wonder if there was a need for him to actually have been an actual ex-con versus just being a villain who decides to kind of hang up his cape, and to turn his life around. And then he's asked, as a consequence of that, hey, why don't you do something good for a change? Right? Why don't you train these kids and help them to not go down the path you went, right? Something like that.
I
But
mean,
still, it's fine.
I don't think the ex-con bit is. I think it. I
No,
mean,
I just
it's
feel like
fine.
it's heavy handed. That's all. Like it's kind of like do we even need to go that far? But yeah, like I said, it's fine. I kind of wonder. I kind of suspect if this was something that was intended for an older audience, but then it was kind of decided, oh, let's make it for kids. You know what I mean? Like it started off as, yeah, this is going to be like this gritty redemption arc, redemption story of this villain who, God calls him his darkest hour or whatever. But they are like, no, let's do something for kids. Okay, we can modify it, and maybe we'll choose some different art styles. That's kind of how that's how it feels to me, like my impression. It was probably intended for it to be, and I think that's part of the reason why it does still kind of carry this heavy, theme, darker theme, shorter theme, while still having this very whimsical, artistic expression. So
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, because if I'm thinking all ages, I'm thinking something that's gonna be fun. There's gonna be like a little bit of comedy, maybe. You know, but I don't know. Maybe that's not. Maybe it is supposed to be more
I mean, if
dramatic,
it's supposed to be more serious and dramatic, they should have gone with a better art style, like a more like serious art style.
something more apropos. So yeah,
Because
maybe.
it doesn't fit.
It
That's
make
like
it,
if
you know what
that's
it
like
makes me
if
think of? It makes me think of Hey Arnold. Let's see. That's what I think.
no,
Yeah,
not really.
that's the feel I get. Hey Arnold, or what's the one? Pepper or something.
Oh, Pepper
Like,
Ann.
yeah, Pepper
I can see
Ann.
Pepper Ann,
Like,
but
yeah,
not.
that's the visual cues I'm
I
getting. So
think Hey Arnold had stronger character design.
yeah, definitely they use a better shape language. It was more defined, right? The shape language for the characters, especially Arnold himself. Right? But here, I don't really see a lot of shape language going on. I get some good ones here with the hair. This is still
Yeah,
good.
I get it.
So it's not bad. But yeah, that's kind of the impression I get. So maybe yeah, it'll be maybe along those lines in the tone overall, like a little bit of maybe dry humor, and, but mostly thematically, a little more serious. So yeah, yeah, it's from the Riververse. Check it out. They just dropped it. Um, yeah, lots of merch and everything. So yeah, it's in pre-order now. So yeah, if you're
Well, I
interested.
mean, let us know what you thought
Yeah,
of
let us know.
the
Yeah, let us
trailer.
know about the trailer. If you thought about the trailer and everything. Your impression, because yeah, that was kind of me. It's like, oh, okay. I don't know. It's just it's something about it. And I think you pointed out like the contrast with the visual and the theme
This
that
doesn't.
we're hearing, the tone that's being set.
Well, I mean, no, it just doesn't. It just doesn't work.
Yeah, it's like it's missing, and I think what it's missing is, like I said, the structure of it, but also like a little hint of like, is there kind of this light uh, comedy or fun? And I don't see fun. I see just kind of drama, and maybe that's the whole point. Maybe it is just a lot of drama. But then it has this whimsical, literally, whimsical illustrative
Yeah,
style. So
doesn't make any
that
sense.
tells
It's
me it's
like
going
you
to
know
be
what this is
fun and
like.
silly.
You know what this is actually like. This is like
Yeah.
this is like this. You ever see these T-shirts? Gangster
No.
SpongeBob.
Oh
You
yeah,
ever see this?
yeah, I have
It's
seen.
like it's like you're trying to make something that's supposed to be for kids way too serious,
Yeah, but that's the
and
joke.
then you
Man.
get
That's the entire point when you see
right.
this
But
stuff,
that's the joke. It's a
like the
joke here,
Gucci.
but they're clearly not
Yeah,
joking. That's the problem.
right. Yeah, exactly. The contrast here is obvious, and it's intentional. Here, with the trailer, at least based off the trailer, that's the question:
Yeah,
is
exactly. Gangster
is it
Looney Tunes.
intentional? Yeah,
Or you know what? You know what's a better? You know what's a better example? Remember the show The Lunatics?
yeah, I do.
You
Yeah,
didn't
that's
sound
a
happy
point.
about that.
No, no, no. I actually enjoyed the show. I
I
liked it.
thought it was okay, but it was
Yeah,
like
it had potential, but I think they suffered with the writing. They didn't know where to go with it
well
because
because it was trying to
because
take
it's
the
the
Looney
Looney
Tunes too
Tunes,
serious. Yeah,
right? They didn't know how to land the plane, right? Like it's like, okay, we got the basic premise down, we got these cool concepts with the heroes, but it's like, where do you go beyond that? It's like it suffered with tone, right? You didn't know if it was gonna be silly and fun or grounded.
right.
Yeah, and I think that's why it didn't work. It didn't last as long.
And
They
what's
didn't know how
funny
to
is
make
when
it
they
work.
tried to, I guess, prototype the show, like they showed the designs to kids. They all thought they were evil. It's like, why is Bugs Bunny evil?
Yeah, because they're like in these dark, like black
Yeah,
costumes, and yeah, exactly, right. They did look like villains, right? So for younger kids, yeah, they're probably gonna think, "Are they
they're like,
bad guys?" Yeah,
whoa, what
yeah.
happened?
Versus when you look at some classic Bugs Bunny, there's at least a couple of episodes where he's literally super rapid, right? He's like some special character and he can fly.
Oh,
And he has a
sure,
suit,
yeah.
and he looks like Superman, right? He has blue and red. It's very fun. It's very, and he fights a bad guy, all this kind of stuff, right? And it's like that's probably what they should have done with the what do you call it, the Looney Tunes, right? They did the hero stuff. It's
Yeah, yeah.
just go hard in the parody and the satire. But I don't know. I think you can tell they didn't know what direction to go. So it was just kind of like, yeah. So there's a few episodes like, okay, this is good. And it's like, I don't know what's gonna happen next. They don't know what they're doing. So,
I don't know.
but yeah, I don't know. That was something that we said a lot more than we said just now. Like we was going back and forth because we were like, yeah, this. Like we had a lot of
Well, I
fights
mean,
about it.
I feel like we covered everything. It's
Yeah, we
just,
did. But I'm just saying, like, yeah, we both kind of had a reaction. Yeah, and it's not that it's terrible or something, or it's just it was a little jarring.
yeah.
And
I'm
it's
sure
like
that. I mean, the
because
story could be good, but the trailer, I
sure,
don't think the
yeah,
trailers sell it well.
yeah, it's just the way the trailer kind of sells it just feels off. And I think because tone just doesn't seem to jive in my opinion. That's my perspective, and yours as well. But yeah, that's kind of what's going on. But yeah, check it out. And it just might just out of curiosity, just to see what the story
Yeah,
about.
it's just, yeah. Like I said, it's hard to take seriously when like all the elements just conflict with each other, right? It's like I'm a hard edged convict, and then he looks like this.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's just Jimmy Turner.
After looking at this, you're right. He does look like Freddie out
Yeah, this
there.
is this is for the yeah. This is from the Fairly Odd Parents movie, by the way, the first one. But yeah, it was
Yeah.
like, what, like, dude, calm down. Yeah.
But I got another, something that caught my eye, and AI is a big topic, right? A lot of artists hate it. Artists, they're coming around, right? They're warming up to it, and others don't care, right? There's quite a few that really don't care. But this is interesting. What's the saying? Every time we see an innovation in some type of AI application, people say this is the worst it'll ever be, right? And I wanted to check out this. I guess it's a trailer, but it's a concept trailer for the Iron Giant that somebody shared this week. And yeah, let's check it out. We'll talk about it.
I'm sorry, sweetie, but I have to work late tonight. Be in bed by 8. In Hogarth. No scary movies.
Mom, you got nothing to worry about.
Invaders from Mars.
Alien!
Where are you?
This is no meteor. This is something more dangerous.
Where'd he come from?
He's not a monster! Fire now! My son is out there! You are what you choose to be.
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna be completely honest. That was
Yeah.
the coolest thing I've ever seen. So
Yeah.
all right, I'm gonna be
Yeah,
all right.
yeah,
I
good.
didn't realize it was AI until the Iron Giant showed up.
Yeah.
That's the crazy part.
Yeah, that first part is kind of like, okay, like there's not a lot here. I mean, it still does, like now that I'm like looking at it, right, like really studying it, you can see that kind of AI eeriness. There's still that uncanny valley type of
Not
feel.
not. I mean, sort
Like
of. Not
especially
really.
here, see the fingers are kind of weird. And he picks up the flashlight in a weird way.
I don't.
But
It
it works
happens
subtle.
so fast.
That's what I'm saying. It's subtle. You don't catch it necessarily. At least I didn't catch it right away. But yeah, you're right. When this showed, I was like, okay, this is definitely. I was like, yeah, unless somebody's like really good at miniatures.
What is the thing? The editing was really good.
Yeah.
I think most of the shots were pretty good,
Listen,
and
they
it
got
didn't
it.
try to deviate from like what the
Well,
characters were supposed to
they
look and
got it
feel
beat
like.
pretty much beat for beat.
Yeah,
With the movie, and
yeah.
yeah, it's, and I admit, like especially towards this part here, where it gets more dramatic, right? You got to know what's going on. They're attacking and all that. I was like, yo, I'm kind of getting that, especially here, it says Superman. I'm like, yeah, like that's not bad. So, um, this is the worst it's gonna get. That's kind of, I looked at it, and I'm like, this is actually pretty well done. The only question is, is this an edit, like good editing, or was this straight AI, like as in they prompted scene cuts, beats, and
I
it
think
just spit
I
it out?
think this was
That's
probably
the question.
good editing for the most part.
Yeah, I'm thinking it is just good editing. They just took the best renders that they had and spliced it all together. Um, I hope, because I'm like, if this is like straight up, sort of first run or maybe fifth or sixth attempt, right? That's wow. That's
Yeah,
impressive. So yeah, man, it's AI is definitely here to stay. I keep seeing a lot of thumbnails on YouTube about AI bubbles. I'm like, AI is not in a bubble. Now there's going to be issues with a lot of these AI companies, uh, like ChatGPT, OpenAI, etc.,
Sure. Yeah.
where they're not profitable yet, right? Even like all these sites, Sora and Runway, Gemini, they're putting these apps out there and they're charging you, $20 a month or something, right? And sometimes way more. Like I think ChatGPT, not Chat, the video one, Deal or something like that. I think they're like 200 a month if you want like unlimited or something. It's kind of crazy, but they're still not profitable. They're not making money. I don't even think they're in the black. To be honest, I think they're deep in the red. Most of these companies. So even Elon Musk, I mean, he was with when he bought X anyway. But yet they're plowing forward with AI and still advancing it and innovating it. Why? Because they know it is the future, right? They know at some point the use cases that we're seeing will become more refined and become in high demand by the general population, and especially by large corporations, companies, entertainment production companies, etc. And so, yeah, it's coming where like I was talking to a young man. He kind of asked my opinion about AI. He shared a quote from I think it was I don't want to just say his name wrong. I think it was Hideo Kojima. I think it was um, about using
Oh,
AI.
Hideo Kojima. Hideo
Yeah,
Kojima.
yeah, thank you. And he made a good point about, look, I don't see it as a problem. I see it as sort of this companion, this friend that I use that helps me create and innovate and iterate, right? It helps me to be more productive, and I'm paraphrasing. And it's like, and he asked you about that, and I tell him, yeah, I think that's the right attitude as a creator. And like anything, whatever your profession happens to be, you want to look at AI as a tool, just like in certain industries, like in accounting, right? Excel, right, and other accounting software doesn't replace an accountant, right? An accountant leverages those software. Just like tax people, right? TurboTax didn't necessarily replace tax preparers. Tax preparers still work. They still, and in fact, they pulled them into the app, so now you can talk to them directly through the app, right? It's like they're not going anywhere, but now they're leveraging the technology to make their jobs easier, more refined, more effective, right? And that creates added value to customers. And that's kind of what's going to happen with AI. Is it's going to be integrated, just like Adobe, right? They were among the first to start they just put it right in Photoshop, right? So you got an AI generator inside of Photoshop, and it's gotten better and better with each iteration, each version of Photoshop. And now they have Firefly and all this kind of stuff. And listen, they understand that this is innovative technology, but it's not going to replace artists in total.
So real
Really.
quick, I just want to point. Mecca Missionary just told me about this sudden story. It's just crazy because it's semi-related in terms of AI, but
Yeah.
Bandai Namco is taking action with the Charlie Kirk figures mocking his death with the Bandai logo.
How so?
So apparently, some people have been making AI depictions of the Gunplas that you used to have and stuff like that.
The who?
The Gunplas, the Gundam model.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I guess people are making fake mock-ups of uh, essentially toys depicting Charlie Kirk's assassination, and they have the band.
Really?
Yeah.
That's sick.
So
That's,
well,
that's
yeah, I didn't. I had to look it up first, but yeah, apparently Bandai Namco is. I don't know if they're suing people, but they just released a statement against it. So
okay. I see. Because they're utilizing their products too.
Yeah.
They're modifying their kids to portray you, right? Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of sick, man. That's terrible. Listen, we talked about Charlie Kirk. May he rest in peace. Yeah, people. I don't. It's very demoralizing, to know that people can be so callous, especially because this Charlie Kirk, as far as we know, as far as I know, was objectively a good dude. Like he was a good man. Period. Like maybe years later down the line, something come out, we'll find out, oh, this guy was a terrible person. He was a terrible, you know, whatever. I doubt it because I think it would have came out already. But when you mock the death of objectively good people, something is seriously wrong with you. I do believe that you know, the Lord is watching. I'll put it that way. So,
Well, I mean, I'm not. I don't. I'm not for mocking people's deaths. Period. I mean, I think the fact of the
yeah,
matter,
that's kind of what I'm saying. Like, we already understand the
it's
notion
one of
of
those.
paying respects to
It's
the
one of
dead.
those.
So, like, to do
Hughes.
that with someone who's objectively a morally just person is all the more egregious.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Well,
saying? Like,
it's one of those he who sinless cast the first stone kind of things, where it's like,
well, it's not even sinless. It's the warped perception of a person that's driving this, and it's driven by false and mischaracterized information. And
and I agree. I guess what I'm getting at is that a lot of the people who are condoning this type of thing are usually the same people who are clamoring for, you know, uh, you know, equity and basic human decency and stuff like that. And
right. And that's the sad irony. Exactly. It's,
yeah,
yeah, it's
so
like
it's a bit frustrating.
you're becoming. It's like the irony is you call someone like a Charlie Kirk a racist or a bigot or a Hitler or a hateful, and yet what you're doing is literally that. It's hateful. Like you become the very thing you claim to hate. That's sad and shameful. It's unfortunate. So, I hope people will come to their senses and reject these things and stop doing those things. Like come to your senses, realize you're being foolish. You've been brainwashed. Like you literally have been brainwashed, and you need to let whatever it is that's driving it. There's always something in you that drives you to hate someone that has nothing to do with that person. Like you choose to hate someone because you were told they're a bad person, right? But like not because they did something to you, but because you were told they were bad. And then you hate them. Why? Because there's something in you wants to hate them. Because there's something in you haven't resolved, you haven't dealt with. That's really it. Like it's one thing when someone does something to you, someone commits a violent act against you, betrays you, lies on you, etc. Yeah, you're gonna feel some kind of way. You're gonna hate them for a bit, and hopefully come to a resolution where you can forgive them. Right? You can at least move forward, right? Whether you forgive them or not. But to hate someone because the internet told you to, right? The TV told you to. That's something that's within you. That's a problem within yourself. Right? Plain and simple. But because that person, Charlie Kirk, didn't do anything. For many of these people who mock him, they never met him. They've only seen clips that were taken out of context and conflated and mischaracterized, with the brand of something, right? Some type of bigot, homophobe, racist, whatever. Right? And they choose to say, "Oh, trigger words. I'm going to hate him." Right? Why? Because he hasn't done anything. You don't even know him. It's like that's wild. That's crazy. So that's unfortunate to hear. That's sad. I hope that hope people will get over it and basically stop doing it. It's terrible. Do better. But yeah, what were we talking about? I was going to talk about another trailer that was released recently by the Daily Wire. Apparently, they have not given up on trying to create entertainment, so they're still trying. Not succeeding, but they're still trying. So let's check it out.
This land is in a welter of confusion. There are more kings than sheep, more princes than crows on a battlefield. All seeking to snatch what they can, when they can, without a care for who suffers. Until this island is ruled by one who wields both justice and mercy, there will be no peace.
Look at them. Boys playing the game of kings. They say they have the Merlin with them.
The Merlin died long before you and I were born.
I've seen what you can do. This is where it begins.
Interesting.
It was all right.
I mean, visually, it looks great. It has
Yeah.
a Game of Thrones feel to it, as far as the visuals.
I'm not too familiar with. I'm guessing this was based off of a book series, if I remember.
Yeah, the Pendragon Cycle. This is from Jeremy Bourne. He was saying as a teenager, author Stephen Lawhead's The Pendragon Cycle reshaped my understanding of faith, courage, and purpose. It rejected the shallow, nice Christianity of my youth and revealed a kind of Christian whose faith was forged in blood and sacrifice. A world where the battle for king and country was inseparable from the battle for Christ and his kingdom. The story changed me, and I've spent years bringing it to life on the screen. This is the Pendragon Cycle, Rise of the Merlin, a new scripted series from Real Daily Wire and Bonfire Legend, adapted from Lawhead's extraordinary novels. Okay. So yeah, so it's a book series. It's going to be a series. So it's not a movie. It's going to be a series. Like I said, because like Game of Thrones feel to it. Yeah. So we'll see. I don't think they've had any major successes since they've launched their production company.
I didn't realize they had a production company.
Yeah, they've been doing. They did one with Gina Carano, I believe, Gina Carano. Man, what was it called? Where she was like, she was living on the frontier with her husband, and I guess he was like a farmer or journeyman, and he leaves for a time, and the homestead gets attacked, and she has to fend them off and protect her child. That looked pretty good, but it felt like it kind of went nowhere. I don't know, because it's all behind a paywall, so I don't know, what did well. It's just it seems like this stuff gets put out. They do trailers, then it just disappears, you know, and you don't see anyone talking about it. There's no like buzz, you know. Like they did another one a couple of years back, I think 2 or 3 years back. It was like a basketball, you know, where they were kind of poking fun at the transgender stuff, I guess, or whatever. You know, it had all the current day tropes, you know, jokes and you know, like it was almost like paint by letter, make fun of uh, liberal people, you know.
Oh, okay.
And
I never.
yeah, it was supposed to be a comedy, and you know, it was kind of like I mean, I saw the trailer and I was kind of like, yeah, it didn't move me because I thought, well, it's kind of predictable and it's not really doing anything. You know, like a lot of the gags were done already in other movies or shows, and you know, or just in general on YouTube, right? Your favorite YouTube content creator already did the gag. Right? Like it's you know, and that's kind of what happens with mainstream media is they tend to farm the internet, you know, YouTube in particular, and they go, "Oh, that's trending," and then they do it, but they do it like months after it was trending, right? You know, what I mean? Like they'll talk about the thing months, maybe years sometimes after it was a thing, right? And it's kind of like, okay, yeah, we already know about it. You know, and that's kind of how I saw some of the stuff they've done. So, like I said, that basketball movie, like I can't even remember the title. It just kind of came on.
Basketball movie. Which one?
From Daily Wire. They did like it was a comedy. It was like I think it was somebody coaching a basketball team, or I don't
I've
know.
never heard of any of that. What
Where
is?
it was men who identified as women so they could play girls basketball. Like it was something silly like that. I'm like, well, that's like Joanna Man, you know, Mama's House, Big Mama's House, and you know every Tyler Perry movie. You know what I mean? Like, a man dressed as a woman, dressed as a woman, or I mean, you know what I mean? Like it's like we kind of get the gag. Like it's been done. It's not really like anything. So,
Yeah.
so that's kind of what I'm saying. It's like okay, so here, I mean, this looks, you know, um, compelling. Like it, you know, visually it looks striking. You know, so and I take it has to do with Merlin and maybe origin story of Merlin. Let us know if you're familiar with this book series. You know, feel free to chime in and comment. Um, so, but yeah, I saw it and I'm like, oh, it looks, you know, that looks very big budget. So that's kind of what made me go, yeah, let's take a look at it because it does look good. So, but like I said, the track record so far is kind of ambiguous. And from what I've observed, it doesn't seem like they're really making a big splash. It seems like they're kind of just saying, let's make stuff for conservative. And that's it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
conservatives, if you like this content, subscribe to our thing and be a member, then you can watch it. You know, like, and it's like, okay. And the greater narrative I wanted to touch on is the fact that, like, because they did an animated series too. And it's kind of the same thing. It was, you know, King of the Hill style or Simpson style, you know, or Bob's Burgers, you know, kind of feel. And all the gags were just make fun of liberal people, make fun of, you know what I mean? Like it wasn't a narrative per se, you know. It's like, yeah, and it fell flat. Like I said, like there's no buzz, there's no virility. It's just kind of like, okay, this game went.
Yeah.
And once again, I guess it's like conservatives hop on board, sign up. And you
Well,
can watch
because the goal clearly isn't to
to
tell a
affect the
good
culture.
story or entertaining. It's
Well,
to
I'm not even saying that. I'm not saying they were terrible stories. I haven't watched any. I'm just going by my impression, right? And the
well,
trailers tend to be kind of like whatever, you know, because it's like they're just tropes, you know. It's like derivative. That's the word. They're just derivative. Like, okay, yeah, this went viral 3 years ago. You understand what I mean? Like this concept of making fun of guys who identify, like that's been it's been like worn out. Like there's been videos made, like content creators do it. I identify as a little girl and they ride a little tricycle and all this, or a guy. You know what I mean? Like it's been made fun of ad nauseum. So now you're just making a movie and rehashing those same jokes. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. It's kind of like, and while it's relevant, because yeah, there's a controversy with trans I don't know trans people, you know, men who are identified as women playing against women, actual women. You know, it's kind of like, yeah, that's still going on, right? But it's also kind of like, yeah, but it's you're kind of beating a dead horse too. And the movie never, didn't really serve a purpose. Like, what are you really trying to say? Like, you know, like we don't know. So I don't know. That's kind of how I view it. It's like, are you trying to change the overall culture, you know, American culture, or are you just trying to create this enclave specifically for conservatives? Like, I just want conservatives to come in here and they're safe. There's a safe space behind this paywall, and you can watch all this conservative oriented content, and it won't have anything icky that you don't like. Like, you understand what I'm saying? That's kind of the impression I get. Versus, let's try to like shake things up and make something that most people are going to like. But guess what? It has conservative values in it. It has Christian values in it. It's, you understand what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't seem like they're doing that. Now, this could be a departure from that. So, but once again, it's probably going to be behind the paywall. You know, like, are they going to try and get it on Netflix or Hulu or, you know what I mean? Like, probably not. It's just going to be, hey, sign up for streaming. You know, which
Yeah.
is like, okay. So that's all. It's like, and if that's their goal, that's, you know, that's their prerogative. I'm not saying they're necessarily wrong for it, but it's like I've been seeing a lot of commentary from Eric July recently, and I appreciate it because I think he's been saying it for years, to be honest, but he's been kind of going in, doubling down on it, and that is that as conservatives, as Christians, and even as libertarians, right? It's like if you want to change the political dynamics, right, towards a better future, right, towards freedom, towards liberty, then you have to affect the culture. You have to change hearts and minds, right? And that happens on several tiers. One major tier is obviously religion, church, belief systems, right? Churches need to step up and proclaim the gospel, proclaim the truth. But also in entertainment, right? Entertainment is a form of propaganda, right? Whether we like it or not, it's true. You know, you're propagandizing something, right? The problem is when you don't know it, and especially when it propagandizes you towards something, towards the negative, right? Towards falsehood and lies, right? But you can propagandize the truth, right? You know, and that's a good thing. And but yet, you know, Daily Wire, others like them, like conservatives, generally aren't doing that, right? They're just creating these safe spaces, you know, versus saying, hey, let's tackle the marketplace and put something out there that's going to compete directly with everything else. So, you know, all the stuff we don't like all, you know, they'll say the woke stuff, and liberal stuff, you know, the feminist stuff, like that's all out there in the landscape. Well, let's throw this Christian thing out there. Let's throw this conservative thing out there. Let's, you know, throw this truth bomb out there and compete and see, you know, and try to affect change that way, right? Try to get just regular people who maybe they straddle the fence, maybe they're, you know, like a lot of people aren't identifying one way or the other, right? A lot of people just kind of like, I'm just here and I'm living, right? You know, and so they're just, that's why some people still watch a lot of stuff we may say we don't like, right? But they'll still watch it because they're not thinking in the same dynamic, right? They're just going, it's a movie. You know what I mean? They're not thinking that it's propaganda. They're just thinking it's a movie and I want to be entertained. You know, I was
Yeah.
just talking to a friend and, you know, he was coming about, I forgot what movie it was, but it's like, it's definitely a you know, quote unquote woke movie. But he's like, oh, yeah, I want to see that because it looks interesting. It's got these guys, these my favorite actor. You know, he's not thinking like, oh, this is a liberal propaganda movie and I definitely want to watch it. He's not thinking that way. Most people aren't thinking. They're just going, oh, Brad Pitt's in that movie. Let's go watch it. Right? That's it. That's literally as far as it goes. Right? So, but that's how. But you want to affect those people. You want to steer them towards what's true. And if you do, it's not going to happen from a podium in a political. You're preaching to the choir at that point. right? But the goal is to bring in, you know, converts, and you bring in converts by putting the message out there in the media, right?
Yeah.
And capturing their attention so that they go, oh, interesting, accountability, responsibility, heroes, truth and justice, Christ, God, right? And you do it with subtext and nuance and all the different tools that writers and creators use, of course. You don't want to be as ham-fisted as your competition. That's kind of how it is now. But at Dead Wire, they chose to be ham-fisted themselves. At least from what I've observed. I'm not paid for the paywall. I'm not paid for the safe space. Because in my opinion, I understand I got to make money, right? So more power to them, but I'm not going to pay for that. Like I considered it. I was like, nah. It's like to me, it just doesn't make sense. It's like, yeah, but you only have this kind of stuff. I don't know. I just feel like it doesn't make sense, versus put it out there in the marketplace so that it can compete. I don't know. Maybe they have, like with I think the first one they did was the Gina Carano movie. So maybe that's out there, you know. But I haven't heard about it. I haven't seen it. So, correct me if I'm wrong. Let me know. I'd appreciate it. But I haven't seen it out competing like on Netflix or something, on a streaming app. So, and that's the problem. That's what I'm saying. How can you know if it's really good if you can't beat out your competition, right? Like I said, that's not the point. Maybe the point is just let's just pull everybody in inside this application and we'll be as big as that. Well, maybe that could work. I don't know. I don't think it will. In my opinion. So, but this trailer looks cool. I hope it's good. I hope it really is. But hopefully, maybe we'll get to see it outside of their exclusive.
Anybody who's read the books, let us know what you guys think.
Yeah, I like it was good. It sounds intriguing, and maybe I'll check out the book myself. But, if it's about like Berlin, like origin story, that sounds pretty cool. So just want to check it out. But I wish them all the best. I think maybe they should offer their approach when it comes to creating entertainment. In my opinion. So, but,
we'll see.
I think was there something that we were going to talk about? It's already noon, so I think I had a few more things, but I don't know what you want to do next.
No, I'm good because I stuff I want to talk about. You got to watch it first before we talk about it.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. We'll talk about it next week because that should be interesting. So, because there's a lot. There's kind of a rich history with that too, like Kurosawa and all that. So, we're gonna. It's about what's the title again? How do you say it?
Well, the movie's just call it To Live.
Yes, it translates to live.
Yeah,
that's very
the movie's called Ikiru.
Yeah, Ikiru. So we're gonna watch that. Hopefully, you'll talk about this. It's very intriguing. I also wanted to bring up.
We also got to watch Kamen Rider, the new Kamen Rider.
Yeah, we'll definitely do that. Also, maybe we could do like a watch party. Let us know if you want to do a watch party with Kamen Rider. That could be fun. But I wanted to mention this guy, this YouTube channel. It's called The Name Brand Company, and I've been following them for a while. They do a lot of like Transformer stuff and fan stuff, and it's really cool. And it's all of their like original ideas and stories, but obviously using Transformers IP. They make no claims, obviously. But I just wanted to highlight another indie creators that are just out there. They're doing their thing and doing really cool stuff. And I've watched a few of their releases, and they're really good. The animation's cool. The stories are pretty fun, and very compelling, great drama, and it's Transformers. If you're a Transformers fan, go to this channel and watch it. Watch to your heart's content. They got a lot of stuff. They've been doing it for a while. It's called the Name Brand Company. So yeah, check them out. I just wanted to blow them up because I'm like, I've been checking them out for a while. And I just watched like around entertainment. I'm like, yeah, let me at least mention them on the stream and say, hey, check them out. They've been around for a while. And they do a lot of great stuff. They're VFX artists, filmmakers. They're just indie creators just making something cool. So, and I'm here for it. So definitely give them a chance. I believe they have a Patreon. So check out their Patreon. I don't think I follow them on Patreon yet. Maybe I will. I got to see. I follow a lot of people on Patreon, so I lose track. But yeah, check them out. Name Brand Company. And that's it for me. I did want to watch this music video from the Lion Animation, but maybe before I say this, they just dropped it. It's like 3 minutes long. No, it's only a minute and 30 seconds. Oh, maybe we'll watch it. Let's watch it. All right. You want to watch it?
Yeah, that's fine.
It's only a minute and a half. And it's really, really awesome. So.
What was that?
Beautiful. The music video.
That was a music video?
Yeah, it's Sigma, which I think it's based on a game. I'll be honest, I have no
I've never seen this before.
Yeah, so
But now I want more.
follow. Let me give context. I follow the Line Animation Studio. The Line Animation Studio is a studio located and based in London, and they do a lot of work. They've done a lot of work for Disney, for Riot Games, and like trailers and stuff, and based off their IP. And their animation is spectacular. Like, I love it. I'm a big fan. What caught my eye, it was like back in 2019, I think, or 2020. I think it was 2019. I caught a trailer that they cut called "The Mighty Grand Piton," and it was just gorgeous. It was so beautiful, and the idea, the concept, the execution, everything. It was just like, wow, this is amazing. And that's what they caught my eye with that, and then I've been a fan ever since. And so they went independent. I think last year sometime. So and when I say that, I mean like they're trying to be their own production studio, produce their own IP. So, but obviously they still take on clients, and so they'll drop whatever they've been working on, and they've done music videos and stuff. And man, everything they do is just beautiful. it really is. It's just like, man. So my dream is to have enough money to hire them to do my
So it looks like
animations.
it's you're right. It's going to be a game. When's the game? Is the game out? Is it coming out?
I don't know.
I seriously, I need to play this game. I need to play this game.
Game about a young group of warriors who protect a floating city orbiting a pillar of volatile energy. Sensing an electric field disturbance that threatens the city, the team teleports to battle its evil source and defeat it, all in a day's work for Team Ziggurat. So it's probably like a launch, like a video, music video launch trailer, type of thing. So yeah, I just wanted to share that because it's, I don't know, a lot of people don't know like, a lot of these animation companies that are out there, or they might see tidbits here and there and not realize like who they are, or it's like the Lion has been doing this for a while. They've worked on really big projects, um, and yeah, they are like they did some stuff for Acura, for the Acura. I forgot the
For
vehicle.
who?
Acura.
Oh,
Yeah, uh,
oh, they
yeah,
also did the
Nissan Acura.
trailer
So
for Hades too.
yeah, like they've done a lot of work that people may not be aware at the studio. Right? So, but I'm a big fan. They're just beautiful work. So I just wanted to share it because it's like, man, this looks amazing. And like I said, I have no idea about the game. Like it's just basically what I just read. So hopefully the game will be just as awesome as this trailer. Right? So, we'll see right when it drops. But yeah, that's all. So thanks for joining us and checking us out, hanging out with us today. We really appreciate your support, your time and attention. And you'll see there's like a barcode on the screen. Feel free to scan it. It'll take you to our website, and there you can sign up to our email list and go ahead and do that, and you can get free digital comic. And yeah, and thank you for your support. Check it out. It introduces you to our sort of our flagship character, Alphatron. Um, and it's just kind of a short adventure. And it's actually the beginning of a larger adventure that I'm working on right now. We're working on an origin story, but there's another bigger story that we're working on that ties into this free comic and short adventure that he has. So check it out and let us know what you think. We appreciate it. And yeah, that's it. Have a super galactic Saturday.
We'll see you around.